Okay, so here we are in Illustrator. I have an 8.5:11 landscape page set up. You can always create more artboards. Couple things I want you to always remember. When you get here, workspace, we want to go into typography because we're doing typographic word marks. So choose a typography workspace. We're going to be working with typography. It'll help you out. It'll have all the tools you need handy. So go ahead and set up yourself in a typography workspace. Then I want you to go ahead and bring in your images. So you're going to go to File, Place, and I'm going to go to Downloads. And I am using Garrett. So here it is, Place.
So where
Okay,
can I find the typography workspace? Just in Effect, View, Window.
Window,
Yeah.
Workspaces, Typography.
All right, thanks.
You're welcome. All right, so I have brought in my sketch. So here's my sketch, first sketch that I'm doing. I'm going to go ahead and open up my layers, window, layers. Okay, and I'm going to label this sketch and I'm going to lock it because I don't want to have it. I also might not want it so dark. So I can also on this, I can also make this, oops, not a mask, make it a lower opacity if I don't want it quite so dark. So I might make this a little lighter so I don't have it quite so dark, and then I'm going to lock it. So now this is a hand-drawn logo. So for me, I'm going to create a new layer, and this is going to be my art layer where I'm actually going to work. So here is my layers. I have it. And when I don't need this window, I can just plug it into my, come on, plug in. Why is it not going in? There. Now you have a couple different choices. Excuse me. I'm going to use the pencil tool. And I'm going to use the fidelity all the way to smooth. So I double click on the tool, bring it all the way to smooth. I'm going to say okay. And I'm using the pencil tool because I feel like that's going to give me the most of what this is actually designed as. And I'm going to start by drawing right on top of my design. And it's just a line right now as I haven't given it a stroke. I'm going to go over here and create, I'm going to make it in a color so I can kind of see it different from my sketch. And I'm going to play with the stroke weight. So I'm going to make this at least a 5-point. Want to show you something that's happening here. Once I turn it into a vector, notice how I kind of have this sharp protrusion coming out. That wasn't part of my sketch. It's because I have a couple things happening here. I'm making a division here. I want to get rid of this extra point, and that gets rid of it. There was a turn here, which is making this having a corner, and I don't want a corner, and it's giving me this extra edge. I don't want that. I'm going to delete that, and then I got rid of that extra point. You want to be aware of those extra elements. Now, these are the bezining handles that we were talking about. You can click on your points and then the handles come out and it allows you to make adjustments. So I can see I'm not quite following my sketch exactly how I want to. So I'm going to come in and adjust. And if I want to see this even stronger, I can also adjust the opacity so I can see my sketch through my drawing. So I'm going to maybe make this at a 40% opacity. I'm going to go back to my direct select tool, which is the white arrow, and I can see, you know what? I don't have the right curve here. It's like I'm losing the corner I had. So I'm going to take my bezining handles and adjust them to adjust my curved line to totally match my sketch. Now, I might want to change it later, but if I want to start at least with my original sketch and kind of really have it. Now, the other thing I'm noticing is my original sketch had a little bit of thick and thin line variation. I can achieve that with my vector drawing too. There's not a lot here, but I might want to exaggerate that. So let's assume I've done the whole word just the way it is, just one solid width. I'm just going to use the P for time's sake because we're out of time. You can also take it and do a second variation of it. Let's say I have the whole word. I'm looking at my design and now I can say, I want to adjust the width, and I can go into the width tool and start playing with, when it gets here, I want to adjust the width and I want to make it go thinner when I go here. And I want it to be thicker when it comes through here. And like I want to play with the width all the way around. And I can kind of start taking that same design and completely changing it look by just adjusting the width. So once you move this into digital, you can take one of these and kind of look at lots of different ways to interpret this line weight digitally and keep going. Does that make sense?